I know this is not the kind of thing I usually do for my Facebook Lives, but I was challenged today to do something more fun than is my usual bent. Thank you, Matthew Amos, for suggesting this topic. And by the way, I am open to other people suggesting topics for discussion. So here we go. We all have our own taste, but my particular take on films has to do with the feelings that you get or the ways in which you're moved to view life, people, or even your own experience in a new way. You see, all the films I'm going to be talking about moved me and seemed to me made a real difference in moving their audiences to view the world more compassionately, or at least they made you laugh a lot and forget the stress of the season. You probably know I'm Melody Brooke, and yes, I'm a counselor, but I'm also an actor and a filmmaker. Films are this incredible art form. They're a co-creation of an artistic medium. It's a unique form that it incorporates all forms of art in the process of making it. So it requires this collaborative co-creation to make a successful art piece. Now, I'm not big on films that don't move you in some way, but that said, I do like a real feel-good film now and again. So I'm not going to talk all day, so I'm just going to list my top 6 Christmas films and talk about why these particular films are my favorite. Of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts about each of these films, and you know what? Go ahead and argue with me about why I'm wrong and which ones should make my list, or tell me at least why they make yours. So I'm going to start with the bottom of the list, like they do at the Academy Awards. So 6 on my list is The Christmas Chronicles. Yes, of course it's silly and full of fluff, but it's also really moving. It has these themes about learning to love your siblings, and of course, the situation starts off with a disaster, but it turns this terrible situation into a good one. And it also has this way of sort of helping kids cope with the loss of a parent. And of course, then there's the idea that saving Christmas is good for the world. That in itself sort of engages us to see how helping others makes you feel so good you don't care what your Christmas gifts turn out to be. Personally, I felt really moved by this film. I even ended up tearing up at times. Of course, seeing my childhood crush as Santa brought me no end of joy, and Kurt Russell played Santa in such a joyful way that it makes my heart sing. And then he jams with the inmates in the jail, and they, of course, happen to be these incredible musicians, and it's just this totally rocking thrill. And his Kurt's vocals just wrapped around my heart. It reminded me so much of his performance of Elvis. Then, of course, there's the fun of his rejoining Goldie as Mrs. Claus, which, of course, just makes you smile. This is just a joy-filled film that I can watch over and over every year. If you haven't seen it, do watch it and tell me what your experience of it is, because I'd love to hear about it. Now, 5th on my list, it's probably not a big surprise, is Home Alone, because, well, we all love seeing a kid fight off adults trying to do them harm. This very bright kid makes fools of the idiot burglars, and we cheer him on. He starts off the film like despising his rude, terrible family and not wanting anything to do with them. Indeed, wishing he just didn't have a family. Of course, he does get his wish for a little bit anyway, and throughout the craziness of the film, finally being free from his rude and negligent family, it's only then that he realizes how much he both needs and wants them. He's proved he can survive on his own and even protect his family from the bumbling burglars, but not without his own dismay, loneliness, and recognition of what his family means to him. It's a hilarious, feel-good movie, of course, but it has these themes that remind us of the importance of our family. The family also are moved to recognize that Hedwig neglected him, and Christmas isn't Christmas without all of them together. So great, great fun, nonstop on your seat, laughing your chest off. It's great. So then fourth on my list is the classic Die Hard. Yes, Die Hard. Of course, there were other ones afterwards, but who can resist seeing Bruce Willis blow things up? But the film itself is so much more because of its delightful use of danger and, of course, family in an atmosphere that keeps you on the edge of your seat the entire film. Watching it again, one can't help but just love the villainous Alan Rickman all over again. Of course, he will always be Snape, to me. But, boy, he makes a nasty villain to play off Bruce Willis. And the one-liners dropped in this film are in scene after scene, and it keeps you laughing even as you're jumping out of your seat. This is Bruce Willis at his finest. And I have to say, one of the best written action films of all time. Somehow they managed to make a thriller, comedy, love story, and family film all rolled into one with this brilliantly directed, edited, and written story that's unmatched in action films. For me, the sense of family, overcoming all the differences to work together to protect people in the end, that resolved with this sense of undying love is what sets this apart from other action films. It's, in the end, a feel-good movie, too. Then, third on my list is Love Actually. Honestly, just hearing the music in this film is just something that I will always and forever associate with just feeling good. Just play the soundtrack and I'm happy. But the film itself is this joyful dance of personalities. And it's so brilliantly choreographed. The way they intertwine all the stories and have this cohesive film, it's just brilliant in and of itself. But of course, each of the stories holds you by themselves, which is in the end, I suppose, why it all works together so well. And oh my, what a cast. Love Actually. Liam Neeson, Emma Thompson, Alan Rickman again, Laura Linney, Hugh Grant, Colin Firth, Bill Nye, and of course, but wow, there are times when putting a cast like that together is a total disaster, but not in this film. This film is every bit romance, love, family, comedy, and just pure joy. Want to smile in this dreary, dark 2020? This film will keep you smiling from the opening credits through the ending ones. It will also make you believe in love again. I kind of need that this year. So now we come to my number 2, the runner-up on my list, which is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Of course, I am, like most of us, one of the children who grew up with Dr. Seuss as our most beloved author. But, oh my gosh, Jim Carrey makes the Grinch so very human. Who would have thought? To bring this delightful Whoville together, the director, Ron Howard, who's one of my favorites, little Ronnie Howard, brings the story into all of our hearts with Cindy Lou Who warming the heart of the hardened and wounded Grinch, showing all of us the enemies in our lives are not always just mean-hearted, ugly people, but humans who have wounds and need love. So its message of love and redemption and kindness melts your heart and makes you cry, even as you celebrate that beauty and whimsy that comes with that animation. So we're not only dancing in our seats to music, but the feelings of love warms us, and we need that on this very dark, cold year. So now we come to the winner, the number 1. I know it's kind of predictable and maybe even almost trite in a way to list my number 1. It's A Wonderful Life. of course, but it truly is the most powerful Christmas film yet to be made. It does not wither with age. I think it's particularly meaningful this year because so many of us are facing these really dark times right now. And after a 5-year period of hatefulness, anger, an increased political divide, massive deaths from a horrific pandemic, and now, of course, economic crises, we need to be reminded of the importance of who each of us are to each other. George Bailey's problems are immense, and they're so similar to what so many of us are currently facing. And he, like many people today, he's thinking about ending it all, and it's Christmas. But this film shows us how to have a perspective on George. As we see his life in flashback, we're reminded that our lives have ripple effects. That the things we do, we may have forgotten about or thought were insignificant, have transformed others' lives. So just as George is about to jump from a bridge, he has this beautiful gift of seeing his beloved town as it would have ended up without his presence. I wish all of you could have the profound awareness that George was gifted with in that film. Because the world needs you, whether you know it or not. You have given something important to others, and your life, it continues to provide you with opportunities to provide the world with the gift of you. So long as you're still here. So even if you're scared, even if you're overwhelmed, even if it seems like it can't get any worse, even if you're grieving, even if you're in so much pain that you can't understand how to put one foot in front of the other, just remember that you are loved, you are love, and you, like all of us, are light that the world needs. That's what It's a Wonderful Life teaches us. So if you're not feeling it this season, maybe you could find a way to watch that film. Again, I'm Melody Brooke, and you can find out more about me at melodybrooke.com. I have some books available on Amazon, and I've got some new offerings about to come up on my website so that you can join in as a member at some point and have access to all my materials, my videos, my articles, my books, and my workshops. So check that out. It's coming soon. I don't know exactly when it will be released, but it's soon, any day now. So I'm going to put my glasses on and get a little closer so I can see who's here. Hi, Priya. Hi, Jim. Hi, Jeff. Thanks so much for joining today. This was a fun one today. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate that you're here. And please make some comments and tell me what you thought of what all I said. And if you have other favorite movies that you would like to list on here, I would love to hear about those. Maybe I haven't even seen them, or maybe I need to review them. So let me know. And I appreciate you, and hope you have a wonderful holiday season. I hope that you love yourself and love this moment, the fact that you're still breathing, because so many of us this year are not still breathing. So have a wonderful week, and I will see you at 4 p.m. next Tuesday, Central Standard Time. And please let me know what you think of my thoughts about the holiday films, and tell me what your favorites are. So I will talk to you next time. Hi, Carlos. I'm just signing off, but thank you so much for being there. And if you have some ideas about what your favorite films are, or if you disagree with me about what the top 6 films are, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. Just love to have a discussion here. So just let me know, and I will talk to you next time. Be here at 4 p.m. next Tuesday.